Oh, crikey. Okay, what the hell has been going on? I don't know about you, but talking to my clients, my life as well, very vulnerable time at the moment, really stripping us back. It's sort of, it feels as if someone's got, what is it, like sandpaper and rubbed over our most sensitive memories that's going on for us in our life, and bringing things to surface right now, and being told that it's very much about us. Thank you, they just said thank you, I've got it. It's very much about us making changes in our lives and for us to move forward. So at this moment in time, they're sort of saying that the planetary, everything, the astrology, all the planets where they are right now, all the sensitivities that's going on is because things need to be reshuffled, restructured, having change. And it's restructure on the planet as a whole, how we've had government changes, how we are going to get government changes, but not only that, but also for us, our personal selves, what's going on for us right now. There will be a lot of reshuffling going on, a lot of changing in our lives, and for that to happen, it's really about breaking down the old. It's about breaking down the old structures of how we have seen our lives, or how we thought we were going to live our lives, or how our lives have been living for some time. And it's about then looking at new ways of moving forward with it. So there's going to be a number of endings for many people, if that's endings of jobs, partnerships, relationships, moving, changing locations. There's going to be a lot going on for each and every one of you right now. And so the information they gave me was very much, this is the time for sensitivity. This is all about holding back. There's going to be a lot of uncomfortability going on. I'm just looking at some notes that they told me through my meditation and the information they're giving me right now. Okay, thank you. They just said to me, it's also about shedding, letting go of whatever doesn't serve you anymore. And it's sort of really whipping back those layers. So it is very much, I was saying this today on Instagram, it's very much about us sort of almost like moving into this chrysalis state, this cocoon, to heal our wounds. To, you know, they just said when a dog is injured or an animal is injured, they go away to lick their wounds for a while. It's about that time at this moment to actually sort of repair, to it's not the time, they just said, of pretending everything's okay and to move away from it. It's more about looking at what's going on for each and every one of you, so that you can peel back, see what's going on for you. Okay, thank you. They just also said this is a time for those individuals when things are brought to the surface. It's that vulnerability to look at what's going on for you as an individual. I think you just said that. But it's also about the empath. So it's really, okay, thank you. What they're trying to do is, at this moment, it's really about how, if you look globally, I'm looking at a map right now, how the planet and everybody that lives on the planet right now, it's really about really having that sort of spiritual awakening, if you want to call it spiritual awakening, or becoming consciously aware of what's going on for you right now. And that's what's going on. And when I mean that, it's literally what is going on for you in your life right now that needs addressing. And a lot of clients, a lot of individuals, and me just tuning into the energy of the earth right now, there's a lot of change going on, and how we see ourselves, how we feel about our lives, you know, how others in our family might be treating us, or the interconnection with our family members, of how it might be making us feel really sensitive right now. So there's a lot of that going on the planet right now, and I can feel it's like a wave of sensitivity. Okay, now they're saying this isn't a bad thing. This is just about the restructure of the planet and the restructuring of how you see things as well. So they're sort of saying it's really about really awakening inside of you the natural empath that you are. They just said it's about the heart frequency on the planet, the heart frequency sort of overruling where the head has been in control or managed things for so long. And because we now have this, there's a lot of fear on the planet of how it's been over this whole period of lockdown, and being able to move freely. There's a lot of control going on. This is really affecting many people, of how they have to look at their lives now, how their lives have totally changed. So whether, you know, I'm thinking they just sort of said, having you know, what's happened to us on the planet at this time through the virus and everything else and the changes that happen on the planet, it's actually forced human beings to actually reassess where you are, what's going on for you. So having that heart frequency right now increasing on the planet, so heart frequency really about being empathic, feeling what's going on, feeling the changes, feeling sensitive, is really going to start helping you to become more intuitive, being more in touch with what it is that how you're feeling, the energies around you. So for instance, so intuitive meaning in the sense of really connecting to others around you, connecting to your environment and really feeling what's going on. So it's really working with the empathic side of you, working and the vulnerability from your heart and heartfelt issues that may have been going on for you. The gut feelings, it's more about that, you know, as an animal, if it's fearful, it's gonna, you know, if there's a tsunami, the animals are really going to be in touch and in tune with that, they're going to run away, whereas the human is going to be in the mind and, you know, logically think the process through. But this is the time really where it's about tuning yourself in more with that intuitive side of yourself. So having layers of yourself, sort of removing the sensitivities or exploring, shall we say. I'd say exploring, it's more about exploring. You know, the other day, I'd be totally honest, there was something going on for me and it took me back to my younger part of myself. And so where it hadn't been addressed, and it was, say, like my 5-year-old self, and I felt myself having those sensitivities. When I could take myself back, it was my 5-year-old self, and I needed to sit with those vulnerabilities, the feelings that had come up for me. This was, you know, I think on Friday evening, and I had to sit there with it to sort of, why has this come up? You know, I didn't remember this feeling until Friday. And of course, it was something that needed to be peeled back. And when I spoke to my guides, it was that I had to be in tune with those sensitivities so that I could release it, let go of it, work upon it, sort of let it go like the butterfly, release it out. And that's what's going on right now. A lot of people are going to go for some sensitivities, some vulnerabilities, so they can remove them so that they can move forward. But when you are in that sensitive point, you are very heartfelt, very in that part of you. It's not so much the mind, or if it's the mind of the experience, it's the feelings and the emotions of remembering that experience, but it's to keep bringing it back to the heart center, and the heart center working from there, and not so much the head, but working from the heart center will help your empathic side, will help you with your intuition, will help guide you, because that's really your soul connection. Is connected to your heart center. And if you can connect to your heart center and work with it there, the feelings you felt, you know, I remember feeling very sensitive about the emotion that came up for me, but working from the heart center allowed me to unpeel what was going on, to look at the layers of that wound. And so working with that energy center, you know, it helped me to connect more with my soul. Now, you know, when I'm working as a psychic medium, I always go to my heart center to connect with clients. I've been trained in that way, and that is how I hear information. It's not so much from the head, because the head and the mind is the filing cabinet of all your past experiences and how you've interpreted it and how other people have their opinions about certain things. So that's in the head where, you know, that feeling of, oh, why am I stupid? You know, why am I this? Why am I that? Or hearing a family member or somebody you might know, you know, talking very negative to you. That's never going to be your intuition. That is in your head. That is the old feelings of experiences and words that you hear. But that's not your intuitive side. Your intuition is always going to guide you in a positive way. It's going to cradle you. It's going to hold your hand. It's going to lead you in the direction. But especially at the moment right now, you know, there's going to be a lot of confusion going on. There's going to be this overwhelming of sensitivity and emotions right now, because they're rising to the surface. It's really important right now that they do rise to the surface. Those emotions might be fears, traumas, any sensitivities. They might be around work, might be around family life, maybe around lots of things right now, but they are coming to the surface because your structure right now is starting to change. And for many people on the planet, the structure of how they live life is changing. There's this big shift on the planet now. And so the idea of working with intuition, it's about looking at how you feel, what you need. I was out, when was it? Sunday. I was feeling very vulnerable, and I was sitting at a table talking to a couple of friends, and my radar of who was around me, my sensitivity with being very intuitive and very psychic, the sounds around me. So at this moment you might be more aware of the sounds, the noisiness, or picking up on, I can pick up on if a spider or a fly are walking on the wall, I can pick up on that. But what happened was, when I was at this sort of cafe, sort of restaurant on Sunday during the day, there was so much sound around me. I was so sensitive to it because of it's heightened my intuition, my psychic abilities, because of the sensitivity from my heart center. So that's going to be happening to a lot of people right now, but being aware, more empathic, reaching out to others, sort of that connection with others now, because the planet, there's so many people that are going through so much. The vulnerability, it sort of brings this awareness to you, and it can feel quite uncomfortable. I also had a gentleman and a lady that walked past me, but they were so close to me. I was like, oh, very sensitive to the sound of them, to their energy coming to my energy space. And a lot more people are going to be noticing that right now. They also just are saying to me, it's very much also, if you think of yourself as the human animal, your gut feeling was created internally within you. Your gut feeling, your sixth sense, your intuition, whatever you want to call it, was to protect you, was there to guide you, to offer protection. It was there so that it was created so that you would keep safe. You would be able to ask for that internal guidance. And I often say about internal guidance, your soul compass is within your heart center. Follow what it is that your heart desires. But we've been brought up in a society where it's very 3D, and where we've been taught from a very young age that, we go to school, we have this structure in our lives, we go to school, then we end up going to uni, college, or whatever, higher education, or maybe not, and then we go into the work field. And then we're in the situation where we're constantly thinking that we have to earn money, in a sense of paying the bills, paying the mortgage, paying our rent, and we get into this fear mode. And that's really working with the mind and the head and the logical and the practical side of things. But it sort of tends to tear us away from what our heart really wants, So what's going on with this massive energy shift? It's like what we thought was safe, or what we thought the structure of our lives, or the support, for some people it's shifting, it's been pulled away from them. So you're having to reevaluate where you are, what's going on for you in your journey and stuff. So the energy shift also, I mentioned this now, we're in September. We have a full moon approaching next week on the 20th, and the equinox on the 22nd, and that is going to be bringing up a lot for everybody right now. And we've got the shifting of the seasons. We're going into the fall slowly. The light's changing, the weather conditions are changing, temperatures are changing, the light is really becoming a lot less than what it was before, and the position of the sun where we are in the UK and in many planets around the many countries around the world. I spent a whole day of talking to different clients around the world and talking about what's going on for them, the energy shifts, and they've noticed in the weather too. The reason to bring up about the weather also is very much because we are like animals, and with animals, the light affects them. Some animals will go into hibernation, and as humans, it's going to affect some humans, as in how we will operate on the planet from how the season changes. And you're going to notice that a lot more this time round. And that's not just because of most parts of the world have been in lockdown and you can't have gone out, which that is going to affect it too, but there's a slight shift in the weather conditions. And today, and I would say last week as well, the information I'm receiving is it feels as if almost the weather's been messed about with to some degree, as it's not as it used to be, and how we're having all these natural disasters that are occurring even more now. The weather is changing in different parts of the world more than ever before. So as I've been told, there's been some interference in that, shall I say. So at the moment, very much so, structure changing, you'll become more aware of it, about boundaries now, walls being torn down, you creating boundaries around you to protect yourself, but also there'll be certain other boundaries that will be falling away from yourself as well, because there's a massive change and a shift for you as an individual. So be wary of that, be aware of that, and to help yourself would be a time now to sort of look at what it is that you can put in place. So it might be, meeting more like-minded people, having those conversations with people that do understand you more, that are understanding what is going on for you, understand what's going on the planet right now. Those who are intuitive, psychic, empaths, because this is going to be a little bit of a bumpy ride, even though some of you are probably thinking, oh my God, we already had a bumpy ride. It's going to be quite sensitive. It's going to be a time of vulnerability rising to the surface, only purely because it's going to help you to shift out what you need so that you can start afresh. Yeah. Okay, thank you. They also sort of just said to me, there will also be, okay, thank you. There also will be with soul contracts at the moment, soul contracts with individuals that you may have had. Some of those soul contracts are coming to the peak now. So it means wherever the soul contract you've had with an individual in your life, maybe a family member or a friend or a relationship, will be coming to the peak right now. And that means that it could be that whatever needed to be said before needs to be said now. They are saying to me, it's not about holding back. This is your opportunity for your voices to be heard. Also talking about other contracts, as in legal documents. They just said legal documents, this is the time to sign them. This is the time to also release legal documents. This might be legal documents as contract agreements. This might be to do with divorces, marriages. Okay, thank you. They just said, now, every single contract, every single word, every single agreement has an energy attached to it. So like with numerology, you break down those words, every letter have a number, every number means something, but it's the intention that you set behind the document that you have created. And I also want to say, every intention you set by any agreement that you have made with anyone at this moment, whether it's verbally or written, you need to look at it. And if it's not serving you, you have to now look at it. Is it this time right now to uncouple, unbuckle, unchain, unlink yourselves from it? This is to be very important. But they're saying this is the time that energy-wise, it's about looking at now creating new structure and to let go of what no longer serves you. And they're not saying it's going to be easy, but they're saying this is the time for change right now. And normally it's not easy and it feels uncomfortable because it's meant to feel that way, so that you stop, you pause, and you're aware of your emotions. And it's important to be aware of your emotions so that you exercise and work on your main muscle, which is your heart center, and so that then that you are doing that work. But that's what they're saying right now. A lot of those also that weren't aware about being intuitive, there's going to be more people out there now that are going to be looking at this now thinking, I need to connect with others that are feeling similar, because their structure of their world has changed totally, how they're feeling, where their place is in society or within their family groups, and also certain projects need to be looked at as they move forward as well. Okay, they just said it's not all doom and gloom. Where there's endings, there are new beginnings, but it's literally about breaking out that chrysalis, that cocoon, as you step forward, because there'll be new things coming forward, but it is about, you can't have the new things unless you actually step out of what is uncomfortable, no longer serves you.